All right. Hello, everyone. So, my name is Connor Asher, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have been hesitant on putting out this video for a very long time. Not even hesitant, but just neglecting to put it out for a very long time. But I feel that it's important, especially for many of you who were here as a fan base prior in the many years of my youth and are wondering, as I've been posting new content, what's going on. so, with that, I'd like to talk about the history of this YouTube channel, YouTube in general, and the future of where things are going, hopefully. Um, so, as many of you remember, I was the kid who did those trendy, awful viral videos with games and Angry Birds and all of those things. Um, I yes, I was a huge gamer for many, many, many of those years. So let me go back even further. Um, so this was around fifth, probably fourth grade. I discovered YouTube. This was around the first year YouTube came out for me, or actually YouTube came out in general around the time I was in like third or fourth grade. Fourth grade is when I was on it and discovered it and started making videos. I started making videos with my dad's flip phone. Unfortunately, all the videos from that channel got swiped and erased and everything else. And around sixth grade, I created this very channel when I was in sixth grade. How the name came about, so as many of you know, the name of this channel has changed throughout the years. It started as Super Me Island, and that was a culmination of the different things that I liked at the time because I literally could not think of a name. Um, one of which was Super. So let's so Super Me Island, and that's the first stage of it. So Super was because at the time I was very into superheroes. So that was Super. Me, because I played a lot of video games, particularly Nintendo. I was a huge Nintendo kid and really enjoyed um, like the Mii's were a big thing at the time, which was the Avatar on Nintendo. So me, MII, before it changed to me slash ME because it was just easier, I guess. And then island because I just like the sound of the word. um, so that was the first iteration, Super Me Island. And then as I've kind of found my grounding throughout creating content, so I started just making random videos. Uh, in particular, a lot of the influences at the time, people that I watched were like, the big YouTubers, Smosh and Machinima and so many others, Ray William Johnson. And same with many gaming YouTubers as well, and what that kind of content was. And something I caught on as well was a lot of people were doing trends, and trends hit and they hit hard, especially back then on YouTube. So this was at the time where YouTube was still YouTube. YouTube was owned by the original creators who made it before Google bought it out in 2011, I believe, 2010, somewhere in that time frame. Um, so things were great. So many YouTubers were getting exposed. So that was a bit of my prehistory in YouTube. Um, I guess before we switch up subjects, let me finish up the names. So throughout the ages, this the name of this channel has changed. First, it was Super Me Island, which we covered. Second, it was Super Me Island TV, which many of you were super familiar with. TV because I was doing a variety of different contents and things. So I wanted it to be kind of like a television channel where you can see a mixture of different things and instead of it just being one subject or one note. Um, and then that changed because that was an insanely long, complicated name. And I was just like, there's got to be an easier way to do this, and then it shortened to STV, which was the culmination of those couple different names. So instead of Super Me Island, which was just what I did because I was a kid, it's shortened to STV, which that I look back on, it was like, okay, well, that a weird name choice. All right, but I did. Um, and then from STV, it turned into STV Media Studios because once again, I was creating more media and like random content, so I could kind of make anything, which I was at the time. um, so those were the name changes, and then I think then finally after all that time, I was like, "This is a horrible name, and I really need to come up with something that I am going to enjoy and love," and then that turned into Creventive. I believe this channel was that for a while, or actually, you know what? No, this channel at that time was abandoned and left behind because of, things that happen over time that I will get to in this next bit, with the changes of YouTube over the years, as well as just myself and who I was and what I wanted to pursue. All of that changed. Um, so let's jump into the next phase. So the next phase of this was how YouTube's changed as a whole over that time. YouTube was YouTube. Creators were deeply cared for. These I'm talking about video creators, so all of those channels that most of you remember back in the heyday of YouTube was Smosh and Machinima and all those things that I already mentioned, plus so many more. Um, and it was really about the creators and the viewers who got them there, and it was a really great community that has now since just disappeared. Um, and I miss that. I miss that people don't have that anymore. And as well, because YouTube was owned by the creators, the video content was all supported by that. The creators were paid well. They didn't have to do what they're doing now, which we'll get to. um, So that's what happened. So let's move forward. In 2011, 2010, somewhere in that time frame, YouTube was bought out by Google. This was near the time where I also shifted my focus as a creator and what I wanted to do and so forth, and also how YouTube affected me. Um, so Google bought it out, and everything kind of went to hell. It started becoming less and less and less about the creators over time. And now it's very gosh, I can't even think of a word for it. Not good. To say the least. Um so it started shifting big time. It started shifting into Google, you need to create more videos. It's all about quantity, 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 quantity over quality. Same thing at the time as well. Many of you know about partnerships. Partnerships was a huge deal when it came to YouTube. Huge. Uh, it was a huge deal. Many people were partnered up with other companies, and those other companies sometimes helped them. Um, one of I was very fortunate because of what I did, and I think a lot of it had to be with the right time, the right place, the right type of content. Like I said, many of which, like, I look back on now and it's like, I could have done a lot better. I'm really not proud of this, but it is a part of my history and a part of my history that I cherish. They're memories of me as a kid, and, I'm still okay with that, and also very proud of what I was able to accomplish with my time on YouTube, and also getting back into it. Anyway, we'll talk about that. So moving forward, this sorry, trying to piece that together because this is live. So not all of this is edited and pre-recorded and pretty. Um, so what happened? YouTube started changing extremely big into quantity versus quality. Same with some of the partnership networks, in particular the one that I was connected to, which many people know of, if they're even around. I think they are. Um, which was called, oh gosh, what were they? Yes, Maker Studios. Maker Studios was a huge partnership company that many popular YouTubers were able to get with. Some of which were like Ray William Johnson and so forth. And those were some of my inspirations for why I wanted to go with that network in the first place when the opportunity arose. However, because I was a kid and didn't know better at the time and everything else, uh, that company took advantage of so many people that they were partnered with. uh, because so many people just didn't know what they were doing. Making money on the internet was a whole new thing. I'm happy to say, like, because things did work out with me at the right time and right place, that I did make a decent amount of money on YouTube at the time. And especially at the time when I was doing it, I was like 14, 15 years old. And so any money whatsoever was huge, yet alone what I was able to make on it. And it was really incredible of wow, okay. And same with my parents too, and some of my friends. It was just like, oh wow, you're actually able to make money on YouTube. That's really amazing. Um, and it was. And I don't make money anymore. I don't. Because of things that happened over time, which we're gonna get to. So anyway, partner companies started fucking over their partnerees, the people that they were partnered with. Especially Maker Studios was really well known for it. If you go back and look at some of the other, you can find some other YouTube videos for big time YouTubers, creators, especially at the time, they were super taken advantage of. They were taking 60+% of profit. They were literally doing nothing to promote me or what I did. They weren't giving me resources. They literally did nothing other than here, we'll cut a check. And then they got bought out by Disney like everything else now. Um so that's what happened. Maker Studio. I don't know when they got bought out. Somewhere in 2015, maybe they got bought out by Disney because they knew that they were doing stuff wrong. And I'm not gonna even get into that. But anyway, many people like myself got screwed over by Maker Studios. And that was a huge reason for I think many people leaving on top of what Google did to change YouTube to where YouTube was all quantity over quality every time. A lot of stuff I made back then was quantity over quality, getting out some of the stuff as fast as I could to reach those goals and reach those targets. And like I said, things have changed immensely with YouTube, like many of you know. So that's what happened. And we're going to move on to what, before I guess, where YouTube is now. I'm going to talk about what happened during that time to myself as a creator. So I was making those videos, as many of you watched. I was very fortunate that many of them went viral. Like I said, right time, right place. Same thing at the time. YouTube was very creator based, so anything that went big, it got on the homepage, it got there, it got here, and it was super shared. It's not like that anymore. I sound like a dinosaur, but it really is different. Um, so let's get back more into it. So I was making those videos, and some of the really wonderful partnerships that I have formed. Some of you, I still am able to communicate with and talk to, which is really nice and wonderful to me to have friendships that have lasted as long as they have, especially those who we continue to work together and do things. Kaylin, if you're Kaylin Kavanaugh, if you are watching this, you are one of them. And I thank you for everything that you've done for me, my YouTube, and just everything. You've changed me and very much changed the channel. And this was the really wonderful thing about YouTube at the time. Back in the early days, was YouTube was so community based, where people were able to customize their channels. You could go on their channels and leave comments. You can message with them, and I made so many friends. One of my eighth grade graduation, I went to Canada and went um, and met with someone who I met through YouTube. It became a really great collaborator and friend. Um, Adrian, hello, if you're watching this at all. Um, and that was the power of YouTube. It was so community based, and now a lot of that is gone, and it's really unfortunate to see that because it had that. Um, unfortunately. So anyway, we're let's so I made those videos. Let's get towards the more end of the STV media era. Um, this was at the time where I started working with Kaylin, and I got exposed to the Muppets. As many of you know me, what I'm doing now, I'm a puppeteer. And I've been doing this for about 10 years now. It's how I make my living. It's what I love most. It's what inspires me. And at the time, I was introduced to that, and that was my influence of that there's something really special here, and it sparked back the memories of the kid, and that's a whole story in itself. But I got into that was one of them, in addition to going to Universal Studios and being exposed to movie magic behind the scenes, seeing how everything works, and really admiring the high quality of things and what video production could be. Of course, I was a kid at the time, but I knew what could be really good content. And I know with the way YouTube was going and continuing to go, I no longer wanted to be quantity over quality. I wanted to make quality things. And like I said, all of it's a learning experience. It really is. You know, through YouTube. And this is one of the wonderful things. Like, I've been able to learn so much. I wasn't fortunate to have as many outside classes and extracurricular activities. And so a lot of the things that I had to learn, I taught myself through YouTube. Same with my parents. Some of my parents were very hands off, and so I had to teach myself how to do certain things, and I was able to do that through YouTube. So, like, how I do Photoshop now, I use Photoshop, um, Adobe Premiere, all of those programs I learned how to do through YouTube, including practical skills. And that's a whole thing within itself. But that was what made YouTube to me so special, that I miss dearly, that I think is very lost now. And it's not just me who feels that way. There's still stuff there, but it's very different, and I do miss it. So anyway, let's get back to it. So I wanted to do more quality work over quantity based work. And around that time, I was beginning to get into puppetry, and it changed my life, for better, for worse. For worse, because I no longer made money or did anything on YouTube, and same, I lost my fan base, at least most of them. Um, so I'm sorry to you guys who were here. um, but like I said, it's all a learning experience, and I'm gonna get to the shift later of what's going to happen with this channel. Um, so as many of you know, this was a actually, before I get there. So I wanted to shift focuses. I left YouTube for many years for many different reasons. One of them was just because of that shift in focus. And, I didn't know if I wanted to come back to it. I really didn't. Same with the way YouTube was continuing to go downhill. I just was not there. I was not in it. So let's get to many years later. So let's get to now. So as some of you who are tuning in and have seen, this YouTube channel has become a little more active in the last month or two. I've been posting some videos, um, some of which is the new work that I'm doing. Some of so here's some of the things that you're going to see. Before I get to that, even I guess why I came back to YouTube. One, we're all in a pandemic right now. This is the COVID-19 pandemic. It's a really difficult time for many people, but also it's a really rejuvenating and refreshing time. For me, I've been able to revisit some of the old things that I've either put down or have forgotten about for a very long time. I picked up trying to do some more video editing, and I remember how much I loved and missed editing videos. Same with putting together content, some for other folks. I edit videos from time to time for other people, and same with my own things. Um, and I thought with YouTube in particular, what better way to share that? Especially through this channel that had a fan base at one point in time. Like I said, I don't even know off memory how many subscribers I got, but it's not about subscribers for me. It's about creating good content and content that I care about, and that hopefully some of you out there will be inspired by and enjoy. Um, so that's why I got it back into YouTube. Let's talk about the things that I am hoping to do now. Um, like I said, YouTube is kind of my second passion. I definitely don't see, revenue and it being a major source of income for me like it used to be because of how YouTube has changed so drastically. Which is why I as an adult now, I physically cannot invest that much time into it. I would love to if things take off and get back to a place where I can do that. But that's not my goal or intention. Same thing. I um through my puppet business that I started, I'm a puppeteer, which I love. I build puppets for clients, and I'm also an instructor, and I deeply love that while I also love doing videos. So I'm hoping to combine the two. This channel, what I'm hoping to do with it is share some of my own personal work, maybe some behind the scenes things that I have done or been involved with projects, same with some of my own work as a puppeteer. Some of which some of you may have seen. I was involved with a wonderful puppet theater called Opera and Focus a few years ago, and I just shared and put together a few videos from my time working there as a puppeteer, uh, to one promote what they're doing, and to also my own performance and just the magic in it, which I don't think enough people get to see. Um, I'm hoping to maybe do talks like this, discussions, um, maybe vlogs, maybe reviews, but like I said, so much of that is just not who I am anymore as a person. Uh, for those of you who especially knew me as a gamer, because I was a tremendous gamer at the time, around the time I got into that change, one of the big changes was leaving video games behind because video games took up my life. It took up all of my time. That's all I was doing. I was playing games all the time, a lot with my brother. My brother was wonderful, and he's still a gamer, which I love him, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a gamer, but it just took up so much of my time. Uh, the time where I could be doing other things, where I could be creating, where I could be learning. Um, because at the time when I started into puppetry, I was very self-taught. I learned from other people. I was able to take I was able to mentor under some wonderful people and travel and get to meet them. Um, which my parents were very supportive for, and that's another whole story in itself. Um, where was I going with this? Gosh. The train derailed. Um, Anywho, yeah, games took up so much of my time, and that was something that I knew I needed to leave behind. I still play games every once in a while. I think it's really refreshing and important to when friends come over or I go out with friends. It's a more social thing now that I do. It's always refreshing every once in a while, but it just took up so much of my time, which is why I left it behind. And part of me is grateful between my pockets and everything else. Um, but it just is what it is. So we'll see. I'm still discovering what the future of this channel will be. I know it's going to be a lot more about me as a person and some of my experiences that I've gone through, maybe talks like this, chats, um, to motivate or inspire people. And then, in addition to that, continue to do my work as a puppeteer through my company channel. Some of you might know, which is Creventive Puppet Company, and that you can find. I'll share in the description, and you can also look it up on YouTube, and you'll find it right away. Um, but that is it. I believe that was so. In summary, for all of you who've either watched this or currently watching, this was a summary of my history of my time on YouTube, what happened during that time, which many people don't know unless you've talked to me about this subject, or have kind of just figured out. um, and then hopefully, what is the future of this? So I hope all of you are understanding and know kind of what's going on now, uh, for the fan base that I'm not creating for anymore. I apologize, but things move on. um, I hope you'll continue to follow my endeavors and my journey moving forward. Um, and I hope you'll stay around and stay connected. Please reach out. I love hearing from some of you guys. Um, and we'll keep making more videos. So that's it for now. And like I said, the reason why I wanted to make this because a lot of people I felt were just left out of the loop of what happened. W- Where was this? What? Why? And same every once in a while, especially through some of my puppet community who has found and discovered my YouTube channel. They're like, "Hey, where?"
Uh,
And they're just like, "Oh, yeah, that was from when I was a kid. That was from this period of time. Did you buy those subscribers?" And no, like, you know, many of you are genuine, but because of YouTube is the way it is now, it's just very different, but anyway, I hope you took away a little something from this and hope you all understand what went on and what is going to go on. And I hope you all enjoy, and I'll see you in the future. Thanks so much.